Hey guys, it's Jason. Welcome to my channel. As you guys know, I started this channel recently to share my gardening experiences with you all and to be able to actually personally keep up with my own gardening plans and progress over the years. I had started out with our family's channel, but decided to go ahead and create my own channel as far as just strictly the gardening stuff. So today I wanted to just kind of introduce myself. My name is Jason, and I'm gardening in Zone 6 near Dayton, Ohio area. And with today's video, the last video I showed was just a sights and sounds video of my front yard, the flower garden in the rain. Today's video I would like to introduce you to my edible gardening beds, vegetables, fruits, all those different edible plants that we all love. In front of me you see my herb pots, herb planters, some lemon balm, some oregano, some rosemary. I also have some spearmint, sage, parsley over there, some peppermint, and some chives as well. But that's all I have in pots and planters at this moment on the deck. As of right now anyway. So welcome to my channel, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you learn something. And let's get started. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm going to show you a closer up view of my flower pots, my herb pots I should say. There's my oregano. Looks like I need to be harvesting some of it because it is starting to go to flower, and I do not want it to go to seed because I want to continue to harvest from it. My lemon balm. I've harvested some off of this earlier in the season. It could use another harvesting. And all these herbs I've started from seed. Even this rosemary. I've heard rosemary is very difficult to start from seed, but maybe it was just beginner's luck. It's actually done very well from seed for me. It looks like I need to harvest it and start drying it out. The chives, peppermint. I recently harvested some of that, made some peppermint oil for my wife, and also have some drying as well. My spearmint. Looks like it's starting to go to flower as well. I need to pinch it back again. I harvested some of that as well, made some spearmint oil and some dried spearmint as well. Parsley and sage. The heat has been rough lately with no rain, so it's been a rough season for these herbs in these pots. I've been trying to get out here and water as often as I can, but that gets difficult at times. And I'm a first-year herb grower, so harvesting and actually doing something with the herbs is brand new to me. I'm still trying to learn what I can do, how to harvest them, how to even grow them, what all to even make with some of these herbs. So if you have any suggestions or any ideas, please leave a comment and let me know what your favorite uses are for these herbs. Okay, so now that I've showed you my herb bed and brought you back to my raised bed area, this raised bed here, I am growing cucumbers. I strung me out a trellis out of 2x4s and string for the cucumbers to grow on. I have a Boston pickling variety right here, as well as a cross-country cucumber variety right here as well. I have a variety of carrots mixed in, not quite ready to harvest yet. They're still pretty small. I don't know if it's because the heat's been so hot and haven't had much rain for them to not be able to grow fully. I also have a few green beans mixed in. So here's an Armenian cucumber. It was doing very well until my dog decided to dig it up. But it looks like it might be coming back out of it. So we'll see. Got some calendula that I started from seed as well. Growing that mainly for the flowers and the pollinators. Just harvested those 3 cucumbers off of the vine right before I shot this. Okay. Take you over to the next bed. In this bed I have tomatoes, peppers, green beans, and borage. I grew the borage as a companion plant to my tomatoes. Apparently it's supposed to keep some of the bad pests away and attract some of the better pests, or better, more beneficial pollinators, I should say. Have some different peppers in here. Unfortunately, most of my tags have worn off. Oh, that one's still okay. This is a Grand Bell mix, both of these peppers here. Something is eating my green beans. I don't know if those are leaf cutter bugs or what they are. But I don't spray anything in my garden. Maybe I should do something with it, but yeah, I'll just share with the insects. Whatever they don't get, I'll get. Got some green beans coming on. Got a pretty pepper here. Still kind of small. That is a Carnival blend pepper. And looks like we got a jalapeno coming on as well. I started some dill from seed as well. It hasn't done very good in this heat either, and it's already going to seed, I see. But I mainly grew that to try to get some swallowtails, which I have yet to see any of the caterpillars yet this year. Haven't even seen any monarch caterpillars yet this year on any of my milkweed that I have out front. I need to come out and re-trellis this one. I need to add some more string and kind of pull it up to strengthen these vines a little bit better. The wind is really taking its toll on some of these. Looks like most of these, the tags have worn off. We have a Thorburns variety here, which I grew from seed from Baker Creek. I believe this one might be a Gardener's Delight tomato. I also have, that is a Roma tomato. I also have some honeycomb hybrid right here. It is a very sweet tomato grown from seed from Burpee. Here's another honeycomb hybrid. It's an orange colored cherry tomato. It's got a really sweet taste to it. There's a Honey Delight. You can see it in there. It's a yellow tomato, just slightly bigger than your small cherry tomatoes. I also grew some yellow pears, which are still green for the time being. This one here on the end is a Rutgers tomato. Got a lot of thistle seed from some invasive thistle around the neighborhood. I have a feeling we'll be pulling thistle out of these beds like crazy next year. Here's that borage. Borage is such a pretty plant. Such pretty colors. I tried some beets down in there. I didn't have very good growth with them. I also did some turnips. I think I ended up getting 2 turnips. I didn't do very well with those either. So that's it for that bed. Now we're gonna move over to the next one. This bed is mostly tomatoes. I also have some basil growing, some green beans. Got a few peppers in here. We got the regular sweet Italian basil grown from seed, just a cheap pack of seed. I also have a, I believe it's a red Reuben purple basil grown from seed. I have basil all throughout the base of these tomatoes. Once again, I've heard that's a good companion plant for tomatoes. I also have green beans growing in front of the basil. Looks like many of them are ready for harvest. You need to come out and pick those. But same thing on these green bean plants. They're all, the leaves are getting ate up by something. But I have some, once again, a lot of my tags are getting worn off. I just used Sharpie. I cut up a bunch of old blinds, used Sharpie on them. But I believe I heard that paint pen doesn't wear off with the UV rays. So I'll probably try paint pen next year, or I'll get an actual garden marker off of Amazon and try that as well. But lesson learned. I won't be marking my plants with Sharpie next year because some of them have completely worn off and I don't know what variety they are. That's a beefsteak tomato there. There's one slightly turning. Then I have some Brandywine pinks. that are starting to turn as well. I believe this next one is another Thorburns as well. I got those seeds from Baker Creek. I'm pretty excited to try those. I've been able to harvest quite a few of the cherry tomatoes recently, and the honeycomb hybrid, and a few Brad's Atomic grapes. So they've all produced pretty regularly for me and have ripened kind of early. This is a regular cherry tomato. These smaller ones, that's a Sweetie variety cherry tomato called Sweetie. And then we also have a large red cherry. Can't quite see them very well. But I also have a Brad's Atomic Grape thrown in there on the side. I love the color of that purple basil. Got some more borage. Sorry if I make you all dizzy with this video. Oh, it looks like we're starting to get a little bit of rain. Got some yellow squash here. I don't know if I have any in the works yet or not. Yeah, maybe. Right there. A couple pepper plants hiding back in here. I believe they're pimento cubanelle. I believe this one might be a big rainbow tomato. And those there are pineapple tomatoes. I believe that might be a picus tomato, which is kind of like a Roma. This one I have no idea. The tag is completely worn off. And then I have a bunch of Brad's Atomic Grape growing on the outside edge here, which I've tried a few of them already, and they are delicious. This one's getting close. It's kind of got a golden hue to it. It'll start getting more reddish, orangish stripes in it. But the color on these are just beautiful. You probably can't tell much from the video, but especially I don't have the latest greatest tech equipment. I'm shooting these videos on an iPhone 8, I believe, so you get the colors that you get. This here is a strawberry patch that I put in. Me and my son recently grabbed these block from behind the shed that we got free earlier in the season, and we're going to fill it with dirt in order to expand the strawberry bed, especially for these Ozark Beauties, which are sending out runners like crazy. We've gotten maybe 2 or 3 strawberries from them this year, but man, they certainly send the runners. So we started out with 6 plants in this bed earlier in the season, and they've spread that prolifically already. Now this other bed, they're not sending runners as much, so I'm not getting prolific amount of plants, but they've been producing strawberries pretty regularly throughout the season. All my strawberries are everbearing, but these here are Quinault strawberries. I've got cardboard in places because I sheet mulch. I'm working on progressively mulching the entire fence line to be able to put in pollinator plants for the garden, but in the meantime I threw some seed out. We got some Maximilian sunflower. We got some regular sunflowers coming up from seed from feeding the birds. Some cosmos that have come up from throwing seed out as well. Try to bring in those pollinators. But over here we have the fence line. I've been able to mulch a little bit of it so far. We have Osage, Thornless Blackberries. I don't think I'm gonna get any blackberries on it this year because they produce on second-year canes. And these are just first-year canes. This is our Moonglow pear. I've decided to espalier all our fruit trees due to space reasons. These are 3 pineapple tomatoes. And that is a Glencoe raspberry, thornless raspberry as well. The neighbor's dogs are barking at me and my dog. That is a Honeycrisp apple that I've espaliered. Working on training it to grow along the fence line, as well as a Fuji apple. And then I also have a Chicago Hardy fig. I had mulch with cheap mulch with cardboard and then put a little bit of mulch around it, but it's a mess now. The dog has been digging pretty ferociously around that fig. I'm surprised it's even alive, but we still love her and we just let her do what she does, don't we, Chloe? Huh? She apparently is camera shy. Okay, right here I have my blueberry patch. Planted these blueberries because my oldest son, Jensen, once again, he loves his fruit. He loves his strawberries, he loves his blueberries. I can't get any of my other kids to eat fruits and vegetables. Jensen will eat fruits, but I cannot get him to eat any vegetables at all. I have a diagram I wrote out of my fruit plantings so that I will post in the video for you right here. So I did that to know where I've planted certain varieties, and I know what varieties I planted. I think there's one I wasn't quite sure of, so I put a question mark, but I think it was a blue crop. So I don't know off the top of my head exactly which varieties all these are. I do know that one is a pink lemonade blueberry. That one's a legacy. I'd have to look at my sheet to see what that one and that one is. That one's just a cutting right now. That's another pink lemonade. That one's a Duke Blueberry. I also planted some thyme in here, but it didn't do very well. Probably the wood chips. Probably didn't like the wood chips that it was planted in, but I had to have a place to put it. That one is an Elliott Blueberry. And that's the one I wasn't sure what it was. I think it's a blue crop, but I'm not 100% sure. And over along the pergola, I have just a various amount of tomatoes just kind of tucked in here and there. In the future, it'll just be a flower area for pollinators. Eventually, I'm hoping it'll be a shade area, as I have a serviceberry tree that I'm growing. I'm trying to train it to have some curves throughout it and just a weird shape or pattern to give it some uniqueness to the space. Plus, it'll keep it a little lower to maybe be able to harvest the service berries. I've seen people do it, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. It was a sapling that I obtained, and I figured while it was young, I'll try to train it to grow a certain way. These are sweet pea currant tomatoes. That is one plant. I've heard they get huge, and I've heard they will self-seed, but I really, really like the flavor of the sweet pea currants. I also like the flavor of these Gold Rush currants. These are teeny tiny little tomatoes. Let's see if I can find a strand of them. Right there. And you can see that whole strand is the length of my fingers. I've got a lot of weeds I need to take care of. I haven't had much time or energy with all this heat that we've had. Got a lot more Brad's Atomic grapes here. Like I said, I just love the coloring of these grape tomatoes. Looks like we have one that might be even ready. Oh, no. It's split. And it looks like the bugs are getting it. So I'll toss that one out, but you can kind of see how it turns orangish. Gets these orangish hues to it. I have some peppers just kind of thrown in here and there. I believe that's a yellow banana pepper. And then over on the other side of the pergola, I also have some tomatoes. I'm surprised they're doing as well as they're doing because they're in quite a bit of shade. But this whole area is going to basically be my shade bed for my woodland wildflowers and my hostas and stuff. And then my last edible plant is this Fuji Apple. I pulled that out of the other Fuji apple that was growing along the fence, thinking it was coming up from the rootstock, but it ended up having its own rootstock. So I replanted it over here, and I'm kind of gonna try to grow it all wild too, as far as the trunk's concerned. And I'm gonna try to wrap it around and grow it like a seat or a bench to sit on, and that way maybe it'll keep it lower to the ground as well. But if it doesn't work out, like I said, it was an extra tree that was growing alongside of my other Fuji tree that I'm growing into a espalier. So that's it for that. So I just wanted to say thank you for stopping by the channel and watching that short garden tour. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you learned something, or maybe be able to teach me something. If you have any suggestions or comments, just put them in the comments below. And like I said, I got a lot of cleanup to do. I've got a lot more work to do as far as mulching. So the cardboard is just going to be an eyesore until then. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I hope you like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.